For whatever reason, every time I go to record Battlestar Galactica and get ready to watch the next episode, I have this incredibly strong urge to start off by saying it's Battlestar Galactica Day, which I know I did on the very first one because I was so excited. And I guess that just means I'm still genuinely excited every time I go to watch an episode of Battlestar Galactica. And I'm excited that you're here to watch with me. Today we're watching Battlestar Galactica Season 1, Episode 6. This episode is called Litmus. I only know the term litmus from a litmus test, which is kind of, a scientific thing to determine the validity of something. So I imagine, although litmus, it's not called litmus test, it's just litmus. And I think that's just the dye. So either way, I imagine that's what the title is referring to. So someone, somewhere throughout this episode, we're going to determine if they're truth-telling or not. I don't know who this episode centers around. I don't know any details, and I'm excited to dive in and find out with you right now as we watch Battlestar Galactica Litmus for the very first time. Whoa. Whoa. Is this like a big flashback?
It's all clear.
Got your back, Chief.
Nice.
Oh, wow. So she really knew.
Anybody see you?
No, I went through the hatch combing on C Causeway.
Okay, this is confirmation of the time period right here.
Security, XO. Send an armed detail.
So not a flashback. Definitely. Holy crap. Really leaning into the suicide bomber thing by having Aaron Doyle literally be a suicide bomber. How did he, I know he had a press pass or whatever, a badge. How did he actually get on the Galactica? I'm legitimately shook by that. Oh, that's right. These are the things. These are the things. I didn't mean to look. I didn't look.
3 dead, 13 injured.
No.
I want you to open an investigation immediately. I want to find out how that Cylon could break through our security.
I need a free hand, the authority to follow evidence wherever it might lead, without command review.
Do you trust her?
You'll get it.
Yes, he does.
I also strongly recommend alerting the public to the Cylon threat.
Risky. We don't want to turn this into a everyone accusing each other communist type thing.
There's a can of worms.
Yeah.
Get me the president.
If he wants to find me, he'll head north towards Cylon forces he's already seen. If he wants to go alone, he'll go south.
Is he nothing but a lab rat to them, just experimenting and judging his behavior? Learning about humans? Learning about the crew of the Galactica, maybe?
People are going to be shot. There is a price to be paid when asking for the public's help. Independent tribunal, openness, transparency, it all sounds great. I'm telling you, these things have a way of inflicting damage on the people you least expect. I do not want a witch hunt on our hands.
She's gonna find out about Boomer and Cyril.
He was on the hangar deck going over some paperwork.
I was with Callie, playing pyramid in the mess hall corridor.
He wasn't on the hangar deck?
No.
Are they all just instinctively?
Asleep in my rack.
Sure about that?
I was asleep, Sergeant.
All right.
Say it more aggressively. That'll make her believe you over the many different stories she's heard already.
This information was known only to myself and a few select advisors. The Cylons look like us now. Anyone seeing either of these two men should immediately contact the Battlestar Galactica.
I would like to see the reaction of the mass populace as they learn, but seeing the press reaction is effective. It's the perspective of the show. We're not going to spend time with civilians typically.
You and the chief are involved in a romantic and physical relationship?
No. The XO ordered us to put a stop to it, so we did.
We did not obey orders.
The matter being investigated is first, how a Cylon penetrated Galactica's security system, and second, whether one of Galactica's crew members aided and abetted this crime through collusion with the Cylons.
Honestly, at this point, they both should just be upfront and honest about where they were and what happened. Yeah, they'll get in a whole lot of trouble, I'm sure, but someone let a Cylon on board. That's a big deal.
Cylons look like people. That means anyone.
Not the chief.
How do you know?
That's exactly what the Cylons want, for us to turn on each other.
It's the natural evolution of this knowledge.
What about the hatch combing for Causeway C?
I went through the hatch combing on C Causeway.
I found the hatch open, which leads directly to a small arms locker.
Whoa, what?
I have no idea Who left the hatch going open last night?
Then why do I have 3 different statements from 3 of your deckhands stating you were anywhere but in your rack? Were you in fact meeting with a Cylon agent?
Well, that's tricky to answer. To his knowledge.
Am I right?
No.
Under Article 23.
Just come clean. I know it doesn't make you look good, and it does seem likely that your actions led to the Cylon getting on board. It's possible.
Can you explain to us why Chief Tyrrell told us in his testimony that he was in his rack asleep at the time of the bombing?
I don't know. I left my post. I'm sure he was asleep in his rack, just like he said.
Did you go through the hatch combing on C deck?
That'd be the best way.
Did you leave it open?
Yes, sir, I think I did. Look, the chief had nothing to do with it. It was me. I left my post and I left the hatch open.
Is he still covering, or... Meanwhile, back on Caprica, we get a second scene.
South.
No
He
way.
just doesn't love you.
I find it hard to believe he'd go south. He's gonna loop back around. He was gonna leave, but he can't bring himself to do it. And how could he? Come on, she came back to Caprica for him. She risked her life, got stranded with you from his perspective, right?
Seems you made an impression after all.
Are you prepared for the next step?
I'm not.
Yes.
I thought I would, see how you do.
Your super secret project's on C deck, right?
I'm not at liberty to divulge exactly what I am doing on...
She's like, I'll investigate.
Do you think that he was trying to blow up your project?
And you along with it.
You get well soon.
Why are they trying to blow me up? You're the one that told me what to do in the first place.
I'm just in your head, guys.
Well, I'm going to have to destroy that Cylon detector myself. Blame the sabotage on Cylon agents.
No, you won't.
Wow. She's really aggressive for someone just in his head. That had to look really weird. Sorry, Boomer. I mean, I know she's a Cylon. I just love Boomer so much. It still hurts seeing her get hurt.
One of your men has been charged with conspiracy and collusion with a Cylon agent.
I have my doubts.
But what about this other man, your Chief Tyrrell?
Chief Tyrrell has been under my command for over 5 years. If he really wanted to take this ship down, he could.
That's a good point. No.
I have orders to bring you before the tribunal, sir.
Seriously? I'm starting to question this independent tribunal thing. Jeez. These Cylons, honestly, they're performers. Look at the links they're going through for this little ruse. Okay, yeah, you want to look behind you? Nuts. I find it so hard to believe that thing was that quiet that you didn't hear him, but here we are. They must have super secret stealth mode. Super secret Cylon stealth mode. Got one. He did it. He rescued Boomer. Oh, wow. They really went to town. Yeah.
Okay. Be all right. You're gonna be just fine.
Oh, how does he never, ever, ever see them standing just above him every single time?
When did you first learn the truth about the Cylons?
On Ragnar Station before we left.
You also withheld the information from your own security detachment aboard ship, sir.
Not knowing who to trust, I decided to keep the information compartmentalized for the time being.
Because he knows there's 12 models, right?
Isn't it also true, sir, that had different procedures been followed, the bombing may have been prevented?
That's speculative.
Yeah, he doesn't like to do that.
Sir, are you aware of the fact that both Lieutenant Valeri and Chief Tyrrell have been implicated as possibly being in collusion with the Cylons?
By you? I don't like her.
You may have made it possible for 2 Cylon collaborators to compromise the safety and security of this ship.
We've lost sight of the purpose of the law. To protect its citizens, not persecute them.
Wow.
You have no authority to close our inquiry.
Wanna bet?
This is a witch hunt.
Corporal of the Guard, restrain the commander and return him to the witness chair.
Yeah, it's difficult to take back power once you've given it.
Escort Sergeant Hadrian back to her quarters.
Who are they gonna listen to? I would listen to Adama.
Sergeant Hadrian.
Cylon gained access to the explosives by going through a hatch door. His name is Specialist Osiris. He's confessed to lying under oath.
I believe that his confession was a lie. I think that he's covering for me. I should be in the brig.
That's a fact. You should be in the brig.
You can't let an innocent kid...
I can't I can't let someone that wears this uniform get on a witness stand and lie under oath. You'll have to walk out on that hangar deck every day knowing that one of your men is in the brig because you couldn't keep your fly zipped. You're the most experienced, non-commissioned officer we have left. I need my planes to fly.
Wow. Questionable decision, I think, from Commander Adama, but an understandable one all the same. We'll have to talk about that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts afterwards as well. Ooh. Nope.
Sharon,
it's over.
No.
He's really going to end it now.
What?
Sharon, we're done.
I'm still deep down rooting for him, but this was a real problem.
I can't believe you can just turn your back on us.
I risked my career, my integrity for what? So some innocent kid, one of my kids, can take the fall for me? No!
Wow. Do you see this performance right now? Whoa!
Did you leave the hatch combing open last night?
It's possible she did and doesn't remember.
What are you saying? That I helped the Cylon?
I didn't say anything. You deserve an answer.
You have the only answer you're ever gonna get.
Jeez. That's a terribly great place to end the episode. At some point, obviously, some suspicion is going to have to go her way because he would be really naive if he didn't at least suspect something with her. Obviously, it's something not even she realizes, but her reaction to that breakup is the first time I've really not been on her side. Obviously, I wouldn't expect her to be happy about it, but I would hope she would be understanding about it and seeing his perspective and seeing what he's going through. If she loved him,
I've got it.
a shark attack. He jawsed him. Rude. I have to question, where does Boomer end and where does the Cylon begin? Is there a distinguishable difference? Obviously, Boomer her goal and her instruction is to keep him on the leash, keep him in a relationship with her so that they can get away with things like leaving the hatch open. I'm confident she did leave the hatch open. I'm also confident that the part of her that doesn't know she's a Cylon has no idea she left the hatch open. What an amazing episode, having another Aaron Doyle aboard the Battlestar Galactica. I can't believe he was able to get in at all. That is really shocking. It's really surprising. And obviously we have a pretty good idea of how he got in now. It was really interesting watching Colonel Ty and Commander Adama see him and recognize him, and whoa, hang on, we've got a real problem here on board the Galactica. And they tried to deal with it swiftly, and unfortunately, he was a literal suicide bomber. And that is it's really scary that not only a Cylon could get on board the Galactica, but a Cylon that we've seen before, that we should be able to ward against. And obviously, it probably was a mistake in some capacity to not have security people in the know. But I do get wanting to keep it secret and close-chested, close, to the chest, close to the vest, whatever that expression is, because they're working on a Cylon detector. And I'm sure Commander Adama anticipated that that detector would be ready pretty quickly. Gaius was able to detect a Cylon right away. Now, at least Commander Adama and Colonel Ty, we've confirmed, they know for sure that Gaius was right with the first iteration of his test, which obviously we know there was no test. That was just pure intuition or schemery. It's not a word. But I expect in the next episode, Adama to continue to put the pressure on Gaius. Hey, we need this test. Give me a progress update. Give me something. And I mean, how long can he keep stringing Commander Adama along? Obviously, previously we've seen Commander Adama's already putting the pressure on him, but it's just like, come on, man. We need something. Let's go. Let's go. I think it was the right decision to let the public in at this point because it's caused additional problems not having this information out there. And we saw a little bit of how the information that the Cylons look like us was affecting some of the crew on the Galactica. I can only imagine it's having the same effect among all of the surviving colonists as well. It's really scary. And I do hope at some point we get to see, like, have a special episode at some point in the future where we get the perspective of the colonists, just kind of give the whole crew of the Galactica a break. Maybe there's a connection, a bridge. Maybe one of the crew members is going into one of the other ships or whatever. I don't know. At some point, I hope we get that perspective, but I do like that the perspective of the show is very much just on the Galactica for the most part. But it would be fun at some point to see an alternative perspective as well. I'm continuing to wonder what is going on with Hilo, our good friend Hilo on Caprica. What is the point? What are they doing? I mean, clearly they're observing him and they're trying to guess his behavior. So it does feel at this point like he's just a lab rat, like they're just experimenting on him, observing him, perhaps using how he behaves to try to anticipate or predict how the crew of the Galactica might behave. Or at the end of the day, maybe they're just trying to learn about human behavior, because the better they can understand human behavior, the better they can predict their responses in the future. So I'm just wondering, how is it going to resolve? Hilo wouldn't be on the show still if at some point he wasn't going to reunite with the Galactica, right? Perhaps bringing a key information, probably almost certainly about Boomer. I just can't imagine how it would get to that point, how he's going to get out of there, how he's going to escape, because he's a captive who doesn't know he's a captive. And which is, it's so fascinating. And I'm so glad we got there was at least 3 scenes this week with him. And we got to spend a little more time, and that made me really happy. So I'm curious to see where that goes, how that resolves. Let's talk about Sergeant Hadrian. Yeah, she was really excited to have an independent review, an independent tribunal free of oversight from Commander Adama, and she went with it. And she did suss out what ended up being the final story, even though it wasn't the whole story. And she was really going after everyone about the Cylon stuff. And yeah, I do think she crossed the line going after Commander Adama. I think, unfortunately, he gave her the authority. And so she did have the right, but it was out of line. She was circling something with Crew Chief Tyrrell and Boomer, and she should have kept pressing down on them. And they should, in my opinion, they should have come clean. But how it resolved is even more interesting. So I like how it resolved, even though I feel like they should have come clean and just been honest and upfront about it from the start, because a Cylon got in because of their actions, and their covering it up was foolish and irresponsible. There's that. Obviously, they didn't expect or suspect that they let in Aaron Doyle. Why would they? Okay, why would they? For one, Boomer likely has no idea that happened, and obviously Chief Tyrrell trusts Boomer, and I can't fault him for that. But at the end of the day, he had to recognize what took place. He had this hard moment, this hard truth. Once again, Edward James Olmos just proves how good he is, how much gravitas he brings to this role as he is talking with Crew Chief Tyrrell, who both of them, when he was talking with Boomer, his acting really impressed me. And then, of course, Commander Adama, talking with Tyrrell. What an amazing scene. Every time he has one of these scenes, it is so powerful, it's so gripping, and just, wow. Clearly, he made the choice to let the other guy be demoted and put in the brig, hopefully only temporarily, because he was wrong to cover for Crew Chief Tyrrell. Everyone who lied, especially under oath, was in the wrong. And in this instance, absolutely unfortunate. And it's not cool that he thought the right thing to do was to cover for his boss. I respect the loyalty to his boss. I do. I think that is admirable, but it's not being loyal to lie under oath under any circumstance, in my opinion. So, yeah. And so Commander Adama let that happen, even though I'm sure he suspected that wasn't totally the truth. And yeah, obviously he needs Crew Chief Tyrrell, and so he let things play out differently. He let Crew Chief get away with it from a legal standpoint, but obviously Tyrrell took that to heart. Tyrrell took it seriously, and he learned the lesson he should have learned from it, that like, oh my gosh, you know what? This relationship is causing problems, and we have to put an end to it, which is the right choice at this point. I know previously I was like, no, forget it, keep it going. This turned me around. This turned me around on it. Just I'm with Tyrrell. Just as Tyrrell got turned on it, I got turned. And, obviously Commander Adama realizes that he needs Tyrrell. He absolutely needs Tyrrell. There's no way around that. And so I get why he made that choice. I don't know if I agree with the choice or not. I understand it. And so from like I need this guy on my crew, and I trust him. He does still trust him. Yeah, like I can understand the choice, and I think maybe it's right in a certain point of view, but from a legal standpoint, you let someone else take the fall for Crew Chief Tyrrell, and that's not right. So yeah, I'm torn on, I'm split on that one. Please let me know your thoughts on that particular decision by Commander Adama. Did he do the right thing? Did he, what would you have done something differently? Honestly, right now, I don't know. I'm still sorting through that one. I hope the next episode kind of focuses on Gaius again. I would like to jump back into his world. Obviously, he was in this episode briefly with his conversation with Starbuck. And interesting how Starbuck was questioning him. I feel like he's really into Starbuck. And there's maybe a little bit of tension there, but she's not quite into it. She went right into interrogation mode, or at least caused him to question everything. Obviously, the Cylons don't want him to continue his work on a what do you call it? A Cylon detector. So there's that. All right. Thank you for watching with me. I hope you enjoyed my reaction, and yeah, I would please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear everything, just wow, the show is so good. I absolutely love it. If you are enjoying these reactions, hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss them, and I'll see you in the next one. Big thanks to my patrons. All right, bye.